with us. Let's bring you some more updates from the city and the state. Morning joggers in West Tambaram were in for an unpleasant find in the area when they saw the charred remains of a man today who has been identified as a top banker in the city. Shocking indeed. The police in the region was alerted immediately and the remains were taken to the Krompet Government Hospital for a post-mortem report. The deceased has been identified as a 52-year-old Muralidharan who had been working as the manager of a Central Bank of India branch in Egmore and has been living alone in the city. The cops have registered a case of death under mysterious circumstances, but only further investigation will really answer whether it was a case of suicide or murder. We also brought you news about the death of a 25-year-old man in Neelangare last weekend. There has been a breakthrough now by the city police, with the accused now being identified. He is believed to be a biker who is pursuing his BBA degree at a private city college. The police have launched a manhunt with 3 special teams rushing to Bangalore, Madurai and Velankani to nab the culprit. During the incident, most were under the influence of alcohol and then got into a brawl, pushing one of them to really stab the other and then flee the scene. In some disturbing news from the district of Vellore, residents of a colony were in for a rude shock today when they were jolted out of their sleep early this morning, almost losing the grip of their ground beneath them. The building in which they were lodged came crumbling down all of a sudden, crushing 4 people, including a 1.5-year-old infant, to death. The incident, which was first suspected to be a cylinder blast, has only had more mystery coming into the picture, as the families are still coming to terms with the loss of their family members in this tragedy. The Chief Minister has announced a relief package of 1 lakh rupees for those who died and 25,000 rupees for the injured. Now, various specially abled groups were up in arms in the city today. They listed 20 demands of their fraternity. A monthly stipend of 3,000 rupees, loans for self-employment without guarantors and ID cards were some of their demands they placed with the state government. The protesters also complained that government officials allotted a spot near the Kuam River for their protest, which lacks toilet facilities, making it even more inconvenient for the disabled community.
And other transportation in the field. They're getting salary
They have named them as differently abled. Second thing is they have formed all these committees and they have a special commissionerate here. But the point is the commissioner is in the first floor. That is a joke. For differently abled, how will they go to the first floor? See, even this basic understanding is not there. So the steps taken by the Tamil Nadu government are grossly inadequate.
மாற்றுத்திறனாளிகளுக்கான இடஒதுக்கீடு இதுவரையிலும் தமிழக அரசாங்கத்தில் முழுமையாக அமல்படுத்தவில்லை என்பதுதான் எங்களுடைய ஒரு கேள்விக்குறியான ஒரு அபந்தமான ஒரு தள்ளப்பட்ட நிலைக்கு நாங்கள் தள்ளப்பட்டு வாழ்ந்து கொண்டிருக்கின்றோம். இந்த அரசாங்கம், தமிழக அரசாங்கம், இன்றைக்கு முதல்வர் கலைஞர் அவர்கள் இந்த கவனத்தில் ஏற்று எங்களுக்கான 3% இடஒதுக்கீட்டை அமல்படுத்தினால் எங்களுடைய வாழ்வாதாரம் நிலைப்படும்.
The Madras High Court today took up the case of suicide by a student of the MGR Janaki College and has granted bail to 4 lecturers. The lecturers of the Women's College have been lodged at the Pural prison for abetment of suicide in the case. They had in fact filed a bail petition at the Madras High Court only yesterday. The girl was allegedly made to strip during an inspection after a classmate reported lost money. The 19-year-old girl killed herself, unable to bear the humiliation meted out to her. The lecturers on the day of the arrest feigned an illness to evade the cops. In some national news now, the queen-size life around Mayawati once again continues to overwhelm us. First, it was a DGP who fed her cake on her birthday. Now, it's her personal security officer who stooped to clean Mayawati's shoes, taking psychophancy to a new low. As soon as she stepped out of a helicopter while on a visit, the officer quietly slipped out a handkerchief from his pocket and began cleaning her shoes and kept at it and didn't really stop till he was satisfied that the job was done. And as the shoe wiping went on, Miss Vayavati continued to talk to officials over there at the area. Well, quite appalling indeed. In some international news now, the lawyer for Julian Assange argued that the embattled WikiLeaks founder will face a secret trial that violates international standards of fairness if sent to Sweden to face sexual assault allegations. Lawyer Jeffrey Robertson told an extradition hearing that Assange would not get a fair trial because of his disesteem and because Swedish rape cases are customarily held without public or media present to protect the alleged victims. The defense team said he could eventually be extradited from Sweden to the United States of America and even end up in Guantanamo Bay.
For the past 5.5 months, we have been in a condition where a black box has been applied to my life. And on the outside of that black box has been written the word rape. That box is now, thanks to an open court process, being opened. And I hope over the next day we will see that that box is in fact empty.
Time now to bring you up to date with the buzz from the world of business. A look at our market wall tonight.
It was another extremely disappointing day of trade coming in for the Lal Street. The markets moved one way, which was down north. The Nifty finally managing to close very closely above that 5300 mark at 5312 in today's trading session, down about 90 odd points, with the Sensex was well below that 18,000 mark in trade today. Volumes were also not unexceptionally low, but breadth of the market was extremely weak in terms of the broader markets as well. The pressure points was the small and the mid-cap space that pretty much led the losses in trade today, with the BSE small cap index ending the day with about 3.5% losses. Of the 50 Nifty stocks, there were only 5 to 6 stocks that ended the day in positive territory, barring which about 45 stocks ended the day in the red. Kotak Mahindra Bank was one of the top losers, down 6 odd percent. ONGC did quite a bit of damage, 6 odd percent losses for that. JP Associates and Reliance Communication were amongst the other top losers coming in from the Nifty. In terms of the sectoral picture, losses were being led by the infrastructure, real estate, auto and the banking sector. Infra stocks continued to get punished. Lanco Infra was down 17 odd percent. Very disappointing sort of numbers, but markets clearly giving that stock a thumbs down. RB Infra was off 14 odd percent. Punj Lord getting punished on weak numbers. GVK Power and GMR were the other top counters that lost out from the infra space. Most of these infra stocks losing the range of about 30 to 40 odd percent in the last few weeks. Well, real estate continues to sell off. Unitech saw a loss of about 7 odd percent. Soba, India Bulls Real Estate and HDIL were amongst the other losers coming in from the rate sensitive pack. Auto stocks weren't spared either. These stocks were also hammered out of shape. TVS Motors was down 7%. M&M lost out 6 odd percent in trade. Ashok Leyland and Hero Honda, all these stocks which were once upon a time favorites of traders, were disappointed and beaten down in trade today. Textiles, which are actually holding up after a good set of numbers being posted by those majors, could not hold steady even today. Arvind Limited lost out 10%. Escomar, Alok and Raymond were amongst the other big losers coming in from the textile sector. Fertilizer stocks were also hammered out of shape. Remember that EGOM, which is expected to take place on urea decontrol, was once again inconclusive. On back of it, most of those fertilizer counters ended and saw losses in the range of 5 to 10 odd percent each. Well, those are the markets. News also coming in that China now has actually gone ahead and hiked interest rates, the impact of which will be felt across Asian equity markets tomorrow, and the Lal Street of course reacting to that. But 5300 once again a crucial level that Nifty will be watching out for.
A quick look at the bullion rates of the precious metals before we get you all of the sports action. This is the late night news on NDTV Hindu. Up ahead, Stumpy sits pretty on the shelves of the city stores. Find out what more you can take home from the World Cup 2011. That's when we come back.